Okay, we're going to do volume of a cone. Hopefully you watch surface area of a cone first. If not, I would suggest watching surface area of a cone first, because I've already explained how the L kind of comes from the big R. I showed you the little shapes, these shapes, and how we fold them together to get the height. This is probably the easiest one to show you. No, that one's a smaller one. This is probably the easier one. So to show you the height, so we do this, all right, we get this height. It's going to go from top to bottom. Remember, this thing is our L, and our radius is just this half distance of the circular shape on the bottom. All right, so I explained all that in the previous video, so I would recommend watching that one first rather than this one. Volume of a cone. Pretty simple formula again. All right, so we got our base. It's a circular base. No, they don't look circular when we draw them. That's because it's kind of this three-dimensional look to it. All right, we had our H and we had our L. All right, remember this was L, that was H, and that was R. Formula is super easy. Okay, so if you think back to a two-dimensional triangle, this is kind of like a three-dimensional triangle. Okay, two-dimensional triangle for area was base times height divided by 2. I'm going to write that down. You don't need to actually write it down on your notes, but just reminding you what that formula was, area of a triangle. Now we're going three-dimensional, so we're going to volume. So instead of multiplying 2 things, I have to multiply 3 things. Okay, which is how volume works. You have to multiply 3 things. That's why our label ends up being cubed. All right, also, because it's three-dimensional, this number right here is going to change to a 3. So here's how we change the formula. Volume equals capital B times H over 3. You're like, but you might be thinking, but Mr. Oates, you said that you had to multiply 3 things. You're still only multiplying 2 things. Yeah, kinda. The capital B, we use this in a lot of our different formulas, stands for area of the base. Area, I can't spell today. Area of the base. Okay, so in this case, the capital B is pi r squared. So we're actually multiplying the r times the r, that's 2 of the things, and then the h being the third thing. Pi, the fourth thing, is just because we have circles. So it's not the, pi doesn't have a label on it, so we're not going to get to the 4th power or anything like that. But radius has a label, and we use it twice, so that's how we get 2 of inch times inch, and then height would be another inch. That's how we get that inches cubed idea. So we can use this formula here, or if you want to, you can rewrite it as this, and that's fine as well. But that's our formula. It's a really simple formula. All right, all we do is fill the stuff in. So let's try an example. All right, so sometimes I'll actually draw the triangle first. I don't know why I did that, but usually I draw the base first, but no big deal. Here we go. Draw that cone. And I realize some of you aren't going to be great at drawing cones, and that's fine. Do your best. All right, so give you the R, it's 8. Give you the height, let's make it 12. All right, we'll put feet on this. And let's go to our formula. So capital B times H over 3. Well, capital B is pi r squared, so pi h squared, times my height, 12, all over 3. Pi times 64 times 12, all over 3. If you want to reduce the 12 and the 3 first, 4 and 1, you can. If you want to multiply first and then reduce at the end, you can. I'm going to go ahead and multiply first. All right, so 64 times 12 is 768 over 3. 3 does go into that. If you aren't sure, obviously you can use your calculator, but 7 plus 6 is 13, and 13 plus 8 is 21. 21 is divisible by 3, so that means this original number was divisible by 3, and it's 256 if you type it into your calculator. We usually put that first, so 256 pi. We don't put the over 3. We already reduced, remember? And then our label, feet cubed. That's it. Super easy formula to use. All you got to do is know how to plug the stuff in, know how to do a little bit of simplifying. Maybe you want to try on your own. All right, so I got my base, my dotted lines in the back, my triangle coming up here, height coming down. All right, let's do a radius of 9 and a height of 14. Okay? Put centimeters on both of these. Go ahead, try that one. All right, try it on your own, see what you come up with for an answer. Come back, check in a minute or so. All right. Okay, you should have paused it. Again, I know some of you are getting to the point where you're lazy and you don't pause. Some of you went past that a long time ago, but here we go. Volume equals capital B, so pi r squared, pi 9 squared, times my height, which is 14, all over 3. Now, I mentioned the last one where you could reduce the 12 and the 3 first if you wanted to. right here. Okay, you can do this, but not right now. You can't reduce the 9 and the 3. All right, you would have to square the 9 first, and then you could reduce the 81 and the 3 if you wanted to. Okay, remember, order of operations, parentheses, we don't have any. Exponents have to come before multiplication and division, so we have to do this exponent first. So pi times 81 times 14 over 3. Now, especially if you think that doing this multiplication is going to be a really big number and then you got to divide by 3, you might want to reduce first. I didn't do it last time, but I'll show you how it works this time. So 27 and 1. Now all I got to do is 27 times 14. 27 times 14, I think that's 378, if I did my math right. All right, so 378 pi, our label, centimeters, and it's volume, so it's cubed. All right, let's flip it around. I'm going to give you the volume this time. Actually, no, we're going to do one more example. I apologize. One more example. I'm going to actually not give you the height this time. I'm going to give you the L. See if you remember from our previous video what you do when you get the L and you need the height, or when you get the height and you need the L. Okay? So let's make this a 25 and a 7. We'll go with inches, inches. Don't know the height. Okay? I want you to find the volume. So 7, 25, we don't know the height. All right, attempt this one. If you don't remember how to start, all right, I'll give you about 30 seconds of a pause time for those who know what they're doing. All right, for those of you who didn't even know where to start with your Pythagorean theorem. So now pause it and move on. For those who already knew what you were doing, just keep watching for your work. All right, so you should have paused it, should have done your Pythagorean theorem first. 7 squared plus h squared equals 25 squared. Or this is a Pythagorean triple if you remember the Pythagorean triple. This might not be one that most people remember though, so I'm going to show the work. We subtract the 49, we get h squared equals 576. We square root both sides, and that gives me 24 for my height. So now I come over here, I'm going to do my formula. Volume equals pi times my radius squared times my height all over 3. If you want to reduce this first, you can. 7 squared is 49, so pi, 49 times 8. 49 times 8, 392 pi. Inches cubed. All right. Now I'm going to give you one that has the volume, and we're going to go solve for the h. Then I'm going to give you one that has the volume, and we're going to solve for the r. All right. So last 2 examples. That was a really, really bad dotted line on the back. My cones are getting worse all the time. All right, volume equals 600 pi. All right, 600 pi. And we're going to say that the radius is 10. All right, let's go with a label here of meters cubed. So this would be meters. And we're going to try to find h. All right. So here we go. Let's do some math. Let's set up our formula. Pi times my radius squared times my height all over 3 equals 600 pi, which is over 1. Okay, we can always put this over 1 if we want. The reason I like to do that is now we can cross multiply really easy. All right, so pi 10 squared, that's 100, times the h, times the 1 doesn't change any of that. So I have pi 100 h. If you want to put 100 pi first and then the h, that's fine. I kind of did that with the L where I put it in parentheses or whatever. Equals 600 times 3 is 1800 pi. And now it's a simple algebra problem. All I got to do is divide by the pi and the 100. Pi's cancel, 100's cancel. Divide by the pi and the 100. Pi's cancel. 1800 over 100 is 18. And my label was meters. Pretty simple one. All right, let's do this one, and then we'll be done. All right, so this one's going to be slightly harder at the end, but I'm going to do that on purpose. So let's let me do some quick math off to the side before I give you an answer. Volume equals 96 pi, inches cubed. and we're going to make this right here 9 inches. Okay? All right, you're going to try to find R. All right, set up your formula, solve for the R. Okay? Slightly harder than this one, all right, that we did up here, but not a whole lot. All it's going to be is at the end, you're going to have one more step you have to do. So if you knew what you were doing here, you followed along, that made sense. It's going to be very similar. You're just going to have one extra step at the very end there. So go ahead, try that one. If you're totally and utterly confused, all right, at least set up your formula and do your cross multiplying. If you do all that, you should have a good idea of what to do next. All right, let's finish it up. So volume, remember, was pi r squared. We don't know the r, so just r squared times my height, which was 9, over 3 equals 96 pi, which, remember, I can put over 1. Okay, we cannot reduce across an equal sign. We have to cross multiply. So I get pi r squared times 9. Multiplying that by 1 didn't change anything. 96 times 3 is 288 pi. So this looks very similar to what we did up here. Now we're just going to do our division. Divide by the pi, we divide by the 9, the pi's cancel, the 9's cancel. We divide by pi and we divide by 9, the pi's cancel, and 288 divided by 9 becomes 32. So r squared equals 32. I told you we would just have one extra step at the end, right? So if you have an r squared equals 32, how do you solve for the r? Well, you do your one extra step, your square root. Do not go to decimals. We've talked about this pretty much all year. Some of you still like to go to decimals all the time. So go break your 32 down. 16 times 2, 16 is 4 times 4. Remember, once you find a pair, you can stop. So you can stop on the 4s. If you did it a different way or kept going, you would end up with 5 2s. Circle your pairs, pair of 2s, another pair of 2s, multiply them back together. You're going to get a 4 on the outside no matter how you do it. I got it right there. You're going to have the single 2 on the inside. And our label, remember, is inches. And that's our answer, and we're done. So, volume of cones, nice, easy formula to use. Surface area of cones, previous video, also a nice, easy formula to use. All right, watch both videos together before the class that they are assigned.